Hello friends and welcome back to Cinnamon Sanctuary. Welcome to all my subscribers. On the menu today we have some honey jerk salmon pasta. So hit the like button if you haven't already, and without further ado, let's get cooking. In my bowl I have 4 salmon fillets which have been sliced each, so we have 8 pieces in the bowl, and I'm just going to go ahead and season them with some pink Himalayan salt, a bit of black pepper, some fish seasoning, as well as some Old Bay seasoning to begin with. And we're also going to go in with a tablespoon of jerk seasoning, and I just use jerk seasoning, a Jamaican jerk seasoning that I bought from the shop. I'll show you in a minute, as well as a teaspoon of honey. All of the ingredients and their measurements will be listed in the description box, so don't worry about this. I'll make sure that they're all included. So once the seasoning has been added to the fish, we can go ahead and mix it all up and then cover it and let it marinate in the fridge for approximately 10 to 15 minutes. Meanwhile, in my pot I have some water boiling, to which I've added a good amount of salt as well as about a tablespoon of olive oil to stop the pasta from sticking together. And for this recipe I decided to opt for some tagliatelle pasta, but it's up to you what type you like to use. Any pasta will work for this dish, and you just have to let this cook according to the packet instructions, after which you can drain it and set aside for later. I should also mention, when I seasoned the fish earlier, I decided at the last minute to go in with a few drops of browning, but this is entirely optional. You don't have to do this. I just thought it would add a nice color. So now that the fish is marinated, I added about a tablespoon of oil to my pan, and I'm just going to let the fish braise and sizzle in it for a few minutes. Salmon doesn't take long to cook, so you just want to make sure that each side is cooked accordingly. I think it took about 3 to 4 minutes on each side, if that, and then you'll get a nice golden brown, but probably not golden brown, it'll be a bit darker in color, but bear in mind this is not burnt, this is just nicely sizzled. So once your fish is done, you can set it aside for later. Now onto the sauce. So I'm just about to drop about half a tablespoon of butter into the pot, which I'm going to let melt for a bit, after which we can go in with some very finely chopped onion, garlic and ginger. So I must have used about 3 cloves of garlic, a thumb of ginger and half an onion, which has been chopped very thinly. And I'm going to put the exact amount in the description box, so don't worry about this. So we're just going to let this sweat in the pan for about 3 to 4 minutes until it reaches a nice golden brown color. Once this has been achieved, we can go in with about a tablespoon of honey, and this is going to complement the salmon. So once the honey has been added, just give it a quick mix and leave it in there for about a minute before adding some peppers. So I decided to opt with some red and yellow bell peppers, which has been sliced, and I'm just going to add these in a bit and let them soften for about 5 minutes. The peppers are nice and soft now, so we can go in with some single cream, and I just went in with a whole container that I've also added some water to, just to rinse it out and make sure that we don't waste anything. And we can just stir this up and add a little bit of seasoning. So at this point you just let this boil for a bit just to let it thicken a bit further, and then just go in with some seasoning. And I just decided to go in with a bit of all-purpose seasoning as well as some pepper and some Old Bay seasoning. But again, it's up to you what type of seasoning you'd like to use here. This is just to adjust the sauce accordingly. So once your seasoning has been added, you can just mix it all up a little bit. And as you can see, the sauce is now thickening. And once that happens, and the whole process will take about 3 to 4 minutes, you can go in with your cheese. So I just went in and grated the cheese directly on top of the sauce, and I'm using some mild cheddar, but Parmesan actually works really well with this as well. We can now give the sauce a quick stir to make sure that the cheese melts accordingly for a couple of minutes. And the consistency here is what you are looking for, a sauce that's not too thick and not too thin, perfect for combining with the pasta in a second. So I just went in and added in the pasta that I cooked earlier, and we're just going to make sure that it's nicely combined with the sauce. See, at this point, I was actually trying to gauge if I'd used the right amount of pasta, because I don't know about you, but I tend to eyeball everything. So I'm never entirely sure if it's too much or too little. But thankfully, the amount of pasta that I cooked was just right for the sauce, and which is good, because for the purposes of this video, I'd like to ensure that the measurements are just right, so that, you know, when people replicate the recipe, it comes out fine. So anyway, on this note, now is the time to go in with your salmon. So this is happening on very low heat, but I'm just about to turn it off once I've dropped the salmon in. And yeah, you can just drop this on top of your pasta. You can also flake the salmon in, to be honest. I thought it would be nice. I thought about this much later. Oh yeah, this would be nice with flaked salmon bits in there. But yeah, I just decided to add these in whole, and it will also make for a nice thumbnail. So obviously, don't forget to add your juices in, because this is where all the extra flavor is. And your dish is pretty much done. I really hope you appreciate this very quick dinner idea. I thought it's nice to drop these quick dinner ideas, because we all sometimes press for time, and it's nice to have these quick and delicious dishes on hand. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And I will see you very soon on my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.